Hello viewers, both assimilated and not, I'm Kelby.
Oh, I just got a text from Lola. She says that she can't come because the house is a mess and she just really needs to clean it right now.
Shit.
Hey guys, welcome to the next installment in our Summer of Robots summer movie series. This week we are talking about the 1975 classic cult horror film, The Stepford Wives.
Mm-hmm. The 2004 one was the only one I had seen.
Right.
I knew that there had been an older one.
Right.
I just hadn't seen it. But this one, I can't even see how they got the idea to make that remake a comedy, because this one is not funny.
No, it's not funny at all.
The original is really creepy and disturbing.
It's based on a book. It's definitely a horror film, but there is all this weird comedy in it. I found myself just fascinated by the whole tone of the movie.
Yeah, it's so subtle, too.
The whole thing is very
subtle.
subtle.
Really subtle. It's almost like somebody was just like, let's make a documentary about this small town in the 70s.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And a camera followed them around. And then as the documentary is being filmed, people are slowly being replaced with cooking robots. I think that's what made it so upsetting, is just that it's so subtle about things going wrong.
Exactly, and it's like you want Joanna, who is played by Catherine Ross, who is very much the it girl in the 70s. You want her to win so badly.
So bad.
Because she is a great character and the whole world is just falling apart around her, and it's just everybody is against her.
Right.
There are only two normal human beings in the whole town.
Yeah, and the way that the story is set up and the way that things happen with her, as far as the kind of character she is, she should win.
Yeah.
The way the formula goes is that in the end, she should be able to grab her kids and get out.
Yeah, it should be like the ending of The Shining.
Yeah.
Where they just make it out.
Yeah, but that's
not
how
what
happens. Which makes it even more upsetting. Spoiler alert, by the way. Nobody wins. Everybody gets
if you haven't seen the movie, there's not a happy ending, except for you find out that the dog is still alive.
All the dudes are creeptastic in this film.
So creeptastic. Well, and the thing for me too was when the guy was like, "I'm Diz because I used to work at Disneyland." There was this weird underlying evil Disneyland thing going on. You know what I mean?
Are we supposed to believe that because he's a former Imagineer that's how he knows how to make robots?
I think we are.
I think
that's what I got out of it.
I think that's what we're supposed to think.
Yeah.
Is that evil Imagineers, if they leave their job and they're probably if they leave it and they're disgruntled, will just start turning feminist women into robotic housewives with perky breasts.
Yeah.
And they know how to do that because they're Imagineers from Disney.
Because they made creepy dolls in It's a Small World.
Yep. It's a Small World is the first step to the robot apocalypse.
Oh, God.
That guy was gross. The dude who sketches at the party.
Oh, my God.
Gross.
Can we talk about that scene for a second? Because, the whole time I was like, okay, he is maybe 5 feet away from you, and he's been drawing you the whole time. And then when he's like, in case you were wondering what I was working on, she's like, I'm so flattered. That was her one moment of being like, what is wrong with you, Joanna?
Yeah. Stepford Wives is such a trippy film.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify my thoughts on it, because it's like you said, the whole thing is very subtle and understated, especially in regards to Walter. Her husband, Peter Masterson.
The worst husband ever.
But again, the journey is so subtle, because it's right before he goes crazy and their relationship devolves into domestic violence.
Right.
They have a very cute, touching scene where he's like, you hate Stepford? And she's like, yeah. He's like, me too. Let's move. Not that you really believe for a moment that Walter is good, but you really want to, because...
Well, in the beginning of the movie, he doesn't come across as, a gross dude.
No,
not
at
he's
all.
actually they have their tension, because she has that argument with him of, you make decisions without me, and then you talk to me about making these decisions, we're gonna make them together, but you've already made them. That's the first hint of tension in their relationship. But it's not an uncommon argument amongst married couples.
No, not at all.
It's not. So it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, that's an issue that they had.
Yeah, but they can work through it.
They can work that out, yeah. But then, as the movie progresses, he just gets grosser and grosser and grosser. Then, like, at the end of the film, when he's just like, you need to go lay down.
Oh, God. That was horrible. Well, and the thing that sucks is, like, I kept tweeting it when we were watching it, being like, no, don't go home and ask your husband if it's okay to go. You just get in your woodchuck station wagon and you just go. Just drive.
Grab those children.
Head to the hills.
Yeah, don't ask for permission.
Well, and I was really glad that, like, the lady psychologist was like, yeah, just leave.
Get the hell out.
Get the hell out. Go get your kids and leave. But then the other thing is, too, like, once she came home and the kids weren't there, like, I understand why she stuck around trying to find the little girls. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe you should leave and, like, come back tomorrow with reinforcements.
Call the cops.
Yeah, call the police.
Call the cops.
Maybe in a different town.
Yeah. Don't call Sheriff McDreamy Pants because he is in on the whole thing.
Totally in on the whole thing.
Which made me really sad because, like, in the beginning of the film when they first drive into Stepford and, like, that sheriff is dealing with something on the side of the road and he, like, looks at the car as it drives by. I was like, oh, hello. I was hoping that he would be, like, the new like, the young new sheriff they sent to this town and, like, he and Joanna would, like, get together and not romantically, but, like, get together and take out all the robots. That's what I wanted. They didn't have to, like, fall in love. I just wanted them to, like, kill robots.
Yeah, team up and kill robots. Yeah, basically you wanted Joanna to, you know, suddenly become Sarah Connor of the 70s and just shoot some robots in the head with, like, a double barrel shotgun or something. I feel like that would be appropriate for the time period in the setting. Very much. Which, by the way, is specifically supposed to be Fairfield County, Connecticut, where I grew up.
Oh. Is there an abundance of robotic housewives?
The whole movie, I was like, this is really accurate. This is a really accurate depiction of Connecticut. Yeah, it really looks like this. Like, there's all these rolling hills and trees, and it actually really isn't that weird for somebody to just appear out of the woods and then disappear back into the woods, because it's probably their backyard. And so now I'm convinced that all of my neighbors were in fact robots. But not my mom, because my mom was more of a Joanna, you know? Yeah, she never wore makeup, had her career, but she's a great mom too, which was something that I feel like they were sort of trying to show with Joanna and Walter, was that, like, they lacked the partnership that was needed for her to have a career. It's going back to that, we were talking about that scene where she was developing her photos and he's like, what do I do with these kids? Yeah. So, I mean, from the beginning, like, he really is the worst. Yeah, basically he's the worst.
And, like, Joanna is a good mom.
She is and,
you know, she's trying to, like, have a career, but she's also still a really
good mom to her children.
Yeah. But it would just be so much easier for her if her husband wasn't a piece of shit.
Right. If he would participate in raising the children.
And that's kind of true of all the men in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, is that their wives could be so much more if all of their husbands weren't the worst dudes ever.
I feel like we just solved something fundamental about this film, is that, like, everybody that moved to this town and that was attracted to this town, even if they didn't know it, like, I don't think that Walter was actively thinking, like, I'm a chauvinistic jerk who believes in 1950s family units.
And I'm gonna replace my wife with a robot.
No, he wasn't thinking that, but, like, fundamentally inside, he was like, yeah, patriarchy.
And then all the wives that moved with those guys were unconventional.
Yes, that's totally the sense I get from it, just based on the other two women that we see.
Bobby and Charmaine.
Yeah, Bobby and Charmaine. Yeah,
like, Bobby's loud and obnoxious. Yeah, and she doesn't care what anybody thinks. And then Charmaine's kind of like this sex kitten who's kind of, you know, in, like, comfortable with her sexuality, but her husband is, like, gross, and he's a TV personality, and that's why he married her. Because she's so comfortable with her sexuality, but he wants all of the surface of that, but
none of the substance. Yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude.
This movie is really deep, guys. But by the end of it, I was kind of having this dilemma of being like, as a feminist, I was so completely offended by the behavior of the robots, but so supportive of Charmaine, Bobby, and Joanna that I was like, I really do think that this is a feminist piece.
I think it's a feminist film for sure. I really do. And I think it's like I think it's speaking about the danger of anti-feminism.
Yes.
It's like if women do not embrace feminism, or if they do not fight for themselves, more specifically, if they just do not fight to be who they are, then they'll just be carbon copies of an idea of what an ideal woman is supposed to be.
So, to summarize, excellent piece of feminist work. 1975, get it.
Yep.
Lola wanted to say that she specifically really likes the period of the 70s because she's into the feminism, and also the clothes fit her really well. They're good for her body type. I would like to say that there was a fantastic performance by a child actor, Mary Stuart Masterson, in this movie, playing her dad's daughter. And it was very funny to see her as a really little kid, and we had the same haircut when we were children, so I'm still actually convinced that my neighbors were all robots.
I really liked it. You should watch it. It's on YouTube, so you have no excuse.
Or you can rent it on iTunes or something legal. So thanks for joining us this week, guys, for this installment in the Summer of Robots. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter at NerdStreet. You can also check us out on Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, various social media venues, which are all great places for you to check to find out about when and what the next installment in this series will be. Thank you for those of you who have been suggesting things and also replying to our tweets during our live tweets and favoriting them and such. That makes us feel like people are paying attention to us, which we love. If you guys have not seen Stepford Wives, please watch it. It's super duper interesting. Not the 2004 one, the 1975 one, which we just talked about. And we would love to hear your thoughts on this, because as we were having this discussion, we're like, I feel like there's so much to this movie. It's so good.
We'll include the link to the 1975.
Yeah, so you can check that out, and please let us know your thoughts on it, because we're really, really interested to know. That's it for now, guys, and keep checking all the social media places for future announcements, and we'll see you next week.